Okay, guess what? Riffin Griffin is back and we live. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your favorite podcast. What's up, y'all? We trying to step up the game on the production value. Look at this. Got more stuff like this coming, but you know, we got the woo, woo, woo. On today's episode, I'm talking NBA, Tik Tok ban in Utah, Woolly Mammoth meatballs, and a whole host of other weird and crazy news. Sorry I'm late, not feeling well today, so I'll tell you about my week. But anyways, thanks for being here. Yeah. Okay. See how I did that? I got more stuff like that coming. I'm working on the layouts and stuff now. I was like, you know what? Let me step my game up. Right? So, anyways, Riffin with Griffin coming your way. How you doing, guys? Sorry I'm late, but as you say, like I always say, it's Riffin with Griffin. Thanks for being here. Go to erikgriffin.com for news and notes. I always appreciate a good subscribe. You know what I mean? Subscribe. You know, that helps me out. Make sure you turn on those notifications when you subscribe because that helps. On Twitch daily. Probably be on Twitch after this. So come check me out there. You know, be a follower. And then, you know, Patreon. You know, Patreon just to support. You know, I'm trying to figure out where I want to do this because I got this new platform Kick. I'm going to talk to you guys about that. But anyways, and also make sure you check out my schedule because I got some tour dates coming up. Oh, check out this new window. Oh, look at that one. Yes. If you're listening, also thanks for listening to the podcast regularly on Apple and all the places you can get podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever else you get your podcast from. I appreciate that. But yeah, check out my new little window. We're going to do it for this when I go to like the stuff. So these are my tour dates I got coming up right now. Going to be in the Blue Room Comedy Club in Springfield, Missouri, April 13th through the 15th. Come check me out there. Louisville Comedy Club. Can't wait to go there April 20th to the 22nd. And then the new Joe Rogan Comedy Mothership. I'll be in Austin, April 28th through the 30th. And then I got some, you know, real future dates like Nashville and Stand Up Live. And I'll be updating this because I get new dates and stuff coming in regularly. So make sure you guys check that out. Okay, coming in regularly. So yeah, we're gonna go to that page again when it's time to, like, you know, look at news and notes. Yeah, I've been doing this on my gaming channel. If you come check out Erik Griffin Gaming Daily, I've been on my gaming channel. I've been like playing with the layouts and stuff. So I said, you know what? Let me play with the layouts on this. So I'm actually every week I'm gonna like work on stuff. And if you actually have a overlay layout that you think, hey Griff, I think this would look good, and you know you even want to make it for me, make it for me. So we'll see how that goes. If you can see my voice, I'm not 100%. You know, Rachel was sick, and then I was shooting Lopez show, Lopez Vs Lopez. Shout out to George Lopez. I was on his podcast some months back, and I really think that like I planted the seed for like coming on his show, and then they had this part come up last minute and they needed somebody, and it was kind of a big part for the episode because it's like the episode is about this person and how he interacts with George on the show. And so, you know, I got it like I got it last Thursday. They hit me up like, hey, there's this part they're offering, and it worked the next day. You know what I mean? So I had to go in the next day. And if y'all don't know how network television, there's a lot of writing that goes on. A lot of rewriting, I'm saying. So even if you memorize all the lines, by that night, even while you're rehearsing, and then by that night, everything's different. So it's like you have to constantly update. So it's like a whole thing. So I did that. I was supposed to go to do shows with Matt Rife in, I think it was Rhode Island. So I had to cancel that show. I had to tell him, yo, dude, I booked this thing, so I had to go do that. So I didn't get to go do that. And then and then Rachel's like not feeling well. Coming back from Fashion Week, she wasn't feeling well. So I was like, babe, I said, so we kind of like staying away from each other and all that. But I got sick. I feel, but I've been fighting it, doing all the whatever you're supposed to do when you're fighting sickness. So, yeah. So like I say, Rachel had gone to Fashion Week. Oh, I want to show you guys, speaking of that. So this is kind of a cool thing. I was talking about it last week. So, so Rachel she walked in Fashion Week, and she actually was the poster. She was actually the poster for Fashion Week. Like all the around the city of El Paseo and Palm Springs, Rachel was she was on all these flagpoles and stuff. So I was like, I got to get one of these. So I put out an Instagram post about it, like, yo, anybody in with the city? Because I'm sure they've taken them down. They just got them. They probably just thrown them all away. But I hope we could get one of these, like to both of them, because I would frame both of them. And then we could put them like in our hallway, and just as two separate art pieces, but connected, that kind of thing. So yeah, but that's actually really cool. That's a picture of her. It was all over the city, man. So shout out to my lovely lady. Fashion Week. Yeah, so I did the Lopez vs. Lopez, and that's really cool that George Lopez is doing a show with his daughter based off their life. So, and it's like they're in 20 episodes. Al Madrigal's on it. My other buddy, we were in I'm Dying Up Here together. So that was kind of cool. So that's what was going on with me this week. And still, so last night was the shoot day, the audience day. And so I'm in there and I'm feeling okay. And then as soon as I started to get home, I was like, ooh, I'm feeling it. And so today I was just like beat up. So I got shows tonight. I got a show tonight. I don't even know if I'm going to go. But, like I say, the show must go on. So then this morning I was supposed to get up early. I want to try to do this podcast at 10 a.m. on Wednesdays. But oh man, you guys don't even know. And then I had this lunch meeting. So here I am. But we're here as always. All right, let's go over comments from over the week. Yeah, so then, there was a whole big talk about the volume. Everyone commenting about the volume on the chat is watching it live. The sound, I believe, when you listen to the audio version, it's lower when you listen to it through Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever. That's from Jamie Randolph. I don't even know what that means. I hope the volume sounds good now. I have no idea. I'm doing it live, and I have my what do you call it? I'm doing it through my I had to see, this is like causing a buzz. All right, let me turn that off. Yeah. So I hope that works out. I hope it sounds good is what I'm saying. Let's see. Cammy. I don't know if this is Cammy. When you guys have these weird usernames, I don't know what to even think of it, but it says, as a young person, I look up to Erik's thoughts and wisdom so much. And as a woman, I do want guys to talk to me. Also women who just want to be friends, meet people spontaneously. Okay. So, that's a nice comment about, I had a whole big rant last week about, this whole stupid social experiment they're doing with rings. It's so dumb. Steve Beck, I watched Swarm, and the end of the first episode really took me by surprise and made me a little weirded out. The show is amazing and definitely captivated. That's from Steve Beck. Yeah, man. You got to watch Swarm. I talked about it last week. One of the weirdest shows I've ever seen in my life. Such a weird show. Let's see. Somebody said, I don't even know their name. Well, I'm not even gonna, their name doesn't even mean anything. So I don't know. It's like a weird, it's not even like it's just one letter. That's weird. Let's see. Terry Hunt, you're very quick on your feet. You're awesome. Don't stop doing this. It's great. Oh, well, that's fun. Thank you for saying that. Let's see. I don't know what this even means. Kick and wing. I know the real Erik would wear elbow pads while riding a bike. Maybe. I'm not trying to get my elbows toe up. You know what I mean? Okay, so Squid Games. That's a funny name, Squid Games. Gotta say how I dig your takes in general. Don't always agree, like with Star Wars being good with their latest projects, but I think you're pretty spot on with a lot of takes and you make it entertaining. Stay woo woo. So there you go. Thank you. I appreciate that. And that was from Squid Games. And yeah, I got a lot more great comments if you want your comment read, And I love good engagement. A lot of the haters on the other, like when I'm doing Golden Hour, all those hater people in the comments. Like last week I was in the comments on that because we were making a joke about like, oh, we got to look at the comments to see who agrees and doesn't agree. So it was funny. And then like you're in the comments and there's always some idiot who used to be over here who I had to get rid of, who's like, oh, he doesn't like when you disagree with him. It's like that. If you really watch me, you know that that's not true. I just don't like assholes. You know what I mean? But you could disagree all you want. Let's have a good back and forth. I love a good back and forth. That's what it's all about. So thanks everybody for being in chat. And yes, this is live Lost. We are live. And so I'm looking at YouTube chat right now and we are live. So there's this new website called Kik. And they, and I made an account. I made a Kik, Erik Griffin, kik.com/Erik Griffin Gaming. Because I was like, oh, let's see. And then, they're trying to compete with Twitch and all the online gaming services. They their UI pretty much copied Twitch. So I don't know if that's going to fly. And as of right now, you could get subscribers and they're giving 100% of the subscriber revenue to the creator minus the fee. And so at first I was like, oh, wow, this is going to be pretty good. But I don't know if they're necessarily ready. Not Kik, KICK.com. I don't know if they're ready to compete with Twitch because Twitch has the Prime subs, different tier subs. And even though Twitch takes a lot of the profit, they take a bigger percentage of the subscriptions. They also, though, offer ads, man. Like you get ad revenue, tip revenue. There's like all types of ways to generate revenue. So what I see for me, you don't need as many subscribers on Twitch to make the same amount of money you would have to make for double the subscribers on this new platform. And eventually they're going to have to give money. And so I don't know. Apparently they're like attached to gambling and cryptocurrency. So now everybody's off crypto now, so anytime you hear like cryptocurrency now, you start to feel, ooh, is this some shady stuff going on? So I don't know. I mean, I've streamed on it a few times. I do have an account. So we'll see if if it's, legit, I don't know. So, and if anybody has any information about Kik out there, I'll be more than happy to, send an email to me or something. If you know something I don't know, if you're one of these nerds out there, you know what I mean? So anyways, Joe Hill, thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate that. Great, $10 super chat. Greatest defensive team, 04 Pistons. They were pretty good. That was a great defensive team. Just statistically, they probably were the greatest statistical defensive team of all time. I think they held every team under 100 points all year, even in the playoffs. So, I don't know. Good segue into NBA talk, guys. NBA play. I haven't been talking about the NBA a lot this year. Haven't been talking about the NBA a lot this year because I'm not into it as much as I used to be. You know what I mean? Not into it as much as I used to be. But let's look at the NBA playoff picture right now. This is an updated bracket according to Bleacher Report right now. So right now, like in the East, you got Milwaukee looking like the best team in the East. Boston coming in second. And then Philly with the leading candidate for league MVP right now, I think is Joel Embiid. The dude's balling. I think he probably feels like he got robbed last year. So here we are. And you got Cleveland. After all the trades they did and getting Donovan Mitchell, Cleveland looks like a legit team. New York, the surprise team of the East, in my opinion. Like, how the hell are they in the real playoff picture? And Brooklyn's still in it, man. Those dudes that they traded away from the Suns, Jacques Vaughn got these guys playing. You would think you lose Kyrie Irving and you lose Kevin Durant, that's it. They're just going to plummet. Ben Simmons is a joke. Like that guy, that guy needs to just go away. Go away, Ben Simmons. They shut him down. You know, I don't know what he thinks. He thinks he's Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. So he's like, why am I still here? Dude, you in the playoffs. You in the playoffs. Not even the playing game, you know? Wait, hold up. Sorry, guys. Really not feeling well. I shouldn't be, but, I'm doing it live, so. It's amazing when I was on. Remember when Rogan used to do it live? I didn't even realize he was doing it live, and I blew my nose. He was like, "Yuck!" I was like, "I got a snotty nose, dude. I gotta do it." So Brooklyn, and then in the playoff race in the East, you got those other teams: Miami with a winning record, Atlanta, and then it's all below 500 teams: Atlanta, Toronto, Chicago, Indiana, Washington, Orlando. So before I even talk about the NBA, I do want to say. I do enjoy the play-in tournament. I think the play-in tournament is a great addition to the NBA, and I think it has made it better, a lot better. Because now you're talking about there's something to play for even up to the end of the season. So you want the 6th seed, and you have to fight for that 6th seed. So if you look in the East right now, you're talking between wait, what's going on here? You're talking between New York, Brooklyn, Miami, Atlanta. There's like 3 games with like 10 games left. So this could switch and you could be in the playoffs without having to do playing games. So you have something to play for at the end of the season. And I think that's good for the fans. So right now, I think the East is the better conference. I think Milwaukee, Boston, Philly, one of those 3 teams, in my opinion, is going to win the championship. I just think they're just more complete. They play better defense than the West. I think that they have just as many stars. I think there's better coaching. I think that the East is going to win the championship this year, and I'm getting interested in it as it gets towards the end here. I'm starting to really get into it. Oh, and this is like the Bleacher Report seed predictions right there. So let's go to the Western Conference now. Denver still in number 1. Don't believe in them. I just don't. They've never done anything. I don't think they're going to do anything this year at all. I think they're just like window dressing. They've had great regular season, but I don't think it's going to carry over into the playoffs. Memphis, surprisingly, is the number 2 seed, even after all that nonsense with Ja Morant, with the gun in the club and getting suspended for 8 games. They're showing that they are a really good team, that they can lose their best player, the face of the franchise, for 8 games and maintain the 2nd seed in a wide open conference, man. Wide open. Sacramento, surprise team. Sacramento, New York, to me, are the surprise teams of the season. All right? New York, just the way they've been playing is just. Wait, what's going on with my sound, man? I'm crackling right now. I don't know how to stop that. All right, sorry about that. So I think Sacramento is like the surprise team. Mike Brown finally coaching his ass off. So good for him. Coach of the year candidate right there, So the way they're playing, Sacramento's the number 3 seed, and they still have a chance to move up, be number 2. Phoenix. Okay, so now you got Phoenix, and we'll get into Phoenix after this. And you got my Clippers. They had a devastating injury to Paul George once again. The Clippers are cursed, man. They just are cursed. Okay? Like there's no way the Clippers shouldn't have at least 1 or 2 championships all the way back from the Chris Paul era till the Kawhi Leonard period now. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Dallas. And then you got Golden State, defending champions. They just got a winner's mentality, man. Golden State, they're winners. You know, they got pride. You know, Klay Thompson came back from this injury and he was like, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. And he's proven that he hasn't lost it, you know? So who knows, man? And then you got the play-in. Minnesota, New Orleans, Lakers, Oklahoma City, Dallas, Utah, Portland. Those are the guys. So Oklahoma City, Dallas. Like all these teams going up to the number 5, going up to Phoenix at 4, at 39 and 35. All these teams from 4 to 10, they can flip-flop. They can flip-flop. So, I don't know. The big team right there that we're looking at is number 9 right now is the Lakers. Look, I ain't no sports analyst. I'm just giving you my thoughts, and I'm telling you something right now. I think LeBron James is more hurt than he's letting on. But he's 38 years old, and I think that tendon injury he has in his foot, he's just going to play through the pain and probably have to retire, you know? I don't know. Like, he had the funniest freaking quote. It's so arrogant, and I loved it. They asked him about his foot injury, and LeBron they asked him, did you need to get surgery? And he was like, yeah, 2 doctors said I need to get surgery, so I went to some different doctors. He said, and when the doctor said I'm healing faster than most people. And they said, well, who'd you go to? And he goes, I went to the LeBron James of feet doctors. He went to the LeBron James of foot doctors. He said he went to the LeBron James of feet. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that is so arrogant. I love that. I just feel like LeBron James, you know, I don't think it reminds me of the Grant Hill injury, and it ruined Grant Hill's career because he played on that ankle injury and he never was the same. And Grant Hill was like LeBron James, Michael Jordan type. Grant Hill was going to be like one of the greatest players ever, like Mount Rushmore type talent. And he was headed to that trajectory, hurt his ankle, and then he never was the same again. So what I'm saying is LeBron's 38. He's at the end anyway. He already got the all-time scoring. And he's like, I can't get surgery right now and go through a recovery. And by the time I can play at a high level again, I'm 39, 40. So I don't know if we're getting the full story, but he might be like, you know, juicing up, man. Who knows? Whatever they put in, like the painkiller and all that kind of stuff. You know, I just don't know if LeBron's ever going to be the same again. I've said this before, I'll say it again. LeBron, KD, these people, like those two in particular, they will never play 82 games again, ever. Ever. You understand? Kevin Durant will never play 82 games again, ever. He will always get hurt, okay? You can't play like that at that high level, be 35 years old, and expect that your body's going to hold up. With that frame he has, with how he plays, how great he plays, the amount of pressure he's putting on his muscles and tendons and everything, he will never be the same. So it is what it is, you know? And with LeBron, same thing. He's been injured every single year of his Lakers tenure. The first year, they missed the playoffs because he got hurt, and then he had to rest in the bubble, and then he won the championship, and now didn't make the playoffs last year, now barely trying to squeak into the playoffs this year. It has not been a successful run in terms of, like, you know, the success you expect of the Lakers and LeBron James going to 8 straight finals. You know, it's like, but what a spectacular career. We won't even get into that. So it would be nice if the Lakers make the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? We will see what happens, man. So it's just it's interesting to look at this playoff race right now in the West, because I don't trust none of these teams. None of these teams make me go, ooh. And I don't think any of these teams can beat the Eastern teams in a 7-game series. None of them. I don't think any of these teams can beat any of these, but Milwaukee, Boston, or Philly. I don't think any of these. Philly's the only one that I think, you know, and that's because Doc Rivers be choking the games away with his crazy ass coaching. So who knows, guys? Who knows what's going on with that? So yeah, so that's that story. Okay, let's keep going with all these crazy stories I saw. So I don't know if you guys remember that I was talking about how they're like trying to get extinct species back. These scientists found a way. So now this, Australian company resurrects flesh of a lost species to demonstrate potential of meat grown from cells. And it just made me think, like, damn, is this what we're going towards? Like, are we going to go away from cows and now we're going to be growing meat are we going to be growing meat in a laboratory? Are we going to be okay with that? Like, what's your initial thoughts about it, guys? Like, what's your initial thoughts about it? I would love to hear people's thoughts in the comments. Let's see. Meat from a lab. I'm going to put a poll up. Meat from a lab. Yes or no? Are you okay with it? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, I think it's that kind of thing. It's like we're just not used to it. You know what I mean? We're not used to it. Like, what does this mean? What does this mean? Like, is science, like, where is science going? And are we okay with it? It's a weird thing. And I just think it's one of those things that it could be great. It could be more healthy for us. It could be like, what is this like? It feels very cloney, like, is this cloning technology? Like, what is this right now? Like, is this, you know what I mean? Like, is this okay? Or is everybody okay? Is it safe? Is it like, we're going to, is it going to bring diseases? I don't know. It could be like really healthier, safer, alternative option that's better for the planet to make meat from these cells. I mean, I don't know. It's just that we're like, this reminds me of the autonomous driving, like cars that drive themselves. We're so nervous about this technology. Like, there's a part of us that, like, we go, oh, I don't trust this. I don't trust science. I don't trust the computers. But ultimately, this is probably going to end up being the safest way to drive. I would love to see the statistics about accidents. I'm sure there must be way down with the automatic braking, the lane assist, with the beeping when you're like, I know my car has stopped me from being in like 5 accidents in the last 5 years because, maybe I'm looking down and then my car goes beep, 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 and then I'm like, oh shit. And then my car stops. That's happened to me a couple times on the freeway, on different places. So like, lane, like you're trying to go over and your car beeps, doesn't let you go into that lane. So I'm sure accidents are way down. So but it's something psychological about it that we're just not ready for it. I feel the same way about this, like, science meat, or whatever you call it. Like, are we really ready? Are we ready for meatballs? Are you ready for some meatballs? Somebody's talking about hot dogs. Hot dogs are already like a mishmash of, but at least we know it came, like, what it's like if you're a humanitarian, or if you're like a vegetarian, a vegan, if you're one of these like animal rights activists, I think this is the way you'd want to go. This is going to be the new vegan restaurants. Okay. That's what this is going to be. This is going to be the new vegan restaurants where the vegan shit is not going to be, what is all this cookies and all this stuff, dude? The fucking internet is like crazy. I don't know what all this going on here. So then the new vegan restaurant is going to be like, yeah, you could get a porterhouse steak in here and it's laboratory grown, So that's where you could get that in there. So then vegan is going to become this new thing where it's not going to be plant-based and all this stuff. It's going to be like organic, healthy, or who knows? I would love to know if there's like a scientist out there that can explain to me how they do it. What is this process? Is this leading us till? Is this going to lead us till, like, if you can make meatballs, steak, why can't you make hearts and kidneys? I mean, isn't that the direction we're trying to go in with this sort of technology? But people don't want to talk about that. I mean, if somebody needed a heart transplant, is there a way now that we can like get their own DNA, create a heart in a laboratory, and then put that heart in their body, and it'd be more, now they can live longer because, and things like that. I don't know. I just, isn't it a fascinating thing to think about? I mean, it's just a fascinating thing to think about, but I just think that this sort of technology, I remember my great aunt. My great aunt, I was visiting Belize, when I was a kid. And, oh man, it was so rural, wooden houses and like open gutters with like sludge in it, just nasty. Water from a vat. But they just started getting like refrigerators and televisions. So I remember like this feeling that you got from my great aunts. They were 70, 80 years old, and she has a refrigerator that she don't turn on. She was like, "Oh, I'm not wasting electricity on it." Like she didn't even understand the idea that the refrigerator was helping her. I remember that she had this. So she had a TV. So now they're starting to broadcast television. This is the first time she told me, "Don't turn it to channel 13 because the devil is on channel 13." And what it was is like they were just showing some movie like King Kong or something like that, And it was like, that's like, how she thought about it. She just thought about it as like, oh, this is like, magic. This is evil. So it's like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? Like it's a weird, so I'm saying we are my great aunt right now when we start thinking about like this meat grown from cells, like right now we're at the stage where we feel like the fear we have of it, the fear of the unknown, and our brain goes to like, this can't be right. It can't be right. There's got to be something, bad about it. But who knows? I mean, the possibilities are endless. So, who knows where this technology can go. So I just thought that was a weird ass story. That was, weird story of the week, because I remember talking about how they were trying to like bring back the dodo bird and the woolly mammoth. And so this is the same kind of thing. The company, you just kind of go, what are you talking about? So I don't know. All right. Big thing in the news, guys. Big thing in the news was Utah is trying to ban under 18s from using social media without parental consent. All right. So what do we think about this? All right. Let's finish with this one poll first. End poll. Okay. And so everybody said no on the meat, by the way. Everybody was no on the meat. Okay. Ban TikTok. All right. Let's ask the community. So, there's all this talk about TikTok, and it's a Chinese company and blah, 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 and they're stealing your data. And even Rogan was talking about it one day about reading the terms of use and seeing all the things that we're agreeing to, that they could just look in your phone, all the things that they could do. Okay. So nobody's for that. Okay. But this is a greater conversation about the effects of social media on young people. And there is something to be said about, because like I said last week in my rant last week, when I was talking about, like how can, like all of the, how people don't communicate with each other. They're not talking to each other. They're not, you don't forget about pheromones and using your senses to communicate. I mean, so there is something that's like, they have studies about this at this point. At this point, like, what are we talking about? Like, they're showing that, social media, there is an effect that social media has on young people. So, like, at what point are we going to, listen to are we going to listen to them and be like, all right, well, maybe they have something, maybe there's something to be said about this. Like, what are we going to do about this? Do you think there is something to this, that it is affecting our kids' brains and stunting their growth in terms of like social interaction and making them low self-esteem and making them feel terrible? I don't know. You know what I mean? I mean, I think everything needs moderation. Yeah, like, and I think, we everyone could use some moderation in their life. I don't think you should be allowed to just. I mean, that's just part of the 7 deadly sins, right? Is gluttony, all that stuff. So I don't know. I mean, so they want to you need parental consent. I mean, I think there is something to this. I think there's something to this. I mean. And I'm not usually with a state like Utah and some of their, weird stuff going on, but this might not be a terrible thing. It might not be a terrible thing at all. I mean, somebody said in the chat, this is a parent's job. Yeah, but it is a parent's job, but then you also send your kid to school. So you're not watching your kids 24 hours a day, So you're hoping then that when your kid goes into the 7-Eleven, he can't buy a beer or she can't buy a beer because there are laws in place that say you can't buy a beer if you're under 21. You're not there to be like, oh, let's say parental consent and I'm okay with my kid drinking. So no, you're not there all the time. So there's laws in place where we go, all right, when I'm not there, the village is helping me raise my kid. That's the whole point of that. So is this one of those things? Is this going to be one of those is TikTok one of those things that's like, no, I think that this is hurting people under 18 or whatever the age is they're saying. And we need to have some moderation and we need to make sure that the parents actually are getting involved. That's why you need parental consent. I mean, people, screaming about parental consent. It's like, well, think about that. And now we're making sure that you are involved. Because a lot of times you might not be involved and you see Twitter, man. Twitter is there's just porn on Twitter. Who has their kid on Twitter? I mean, is there any kind of parental consent with that? Because you could just search, anything. And all of a sudden, you're seeing full-on pornography on Twitter. So who knows, who knows where it's going to go? I mean, I just think about myself as a kid. I porno for me, I had to go to the weird channel on my station. And then there was a squiggly lines and stuff going on. But there was, but sometimes you could catch it. You could see a titty in the background. You'd be like, oh shit, there's a titty. It was just weird back in the day. And now, then it's a restriction on pornography and, cable television took over and then the internet came and then the internet is like, hey, we're doing whatever the hell we want. I was talking to somebody when I was doing the George Lopez show, one of the makeup ladies, really, really great staff over there, the crew, shout out to them. But she was one of the ladies said she left her phone at home. She was like, I left my phone at home. When you leave your phone, man, you feel butt ass naked. You leave your phone at home, it's like you don't even have underwear on. You know that feeling? You're like, where's my phone? And then you're like, oh my God. But then as someone older, I think about there was a time when I didn't have a phone. Man, think about this. You leave your house and the people that are there, you're gone from them. There is no interaction or being able to contact them until you see them again. Y'all would lose your mind. Young people in their relationships right now, I don't even know how you would survive. How would you even survive not being able to text your boyfriend bullshit all damn day? I mean, Rachel sends me stuff all day. But I thought about it. There is something good about you get into a fight. You're fighting. You're like, okay, I'm going to work. There is something good about being able to go to work, not text mean, hateful stuff, not, just kind of let it go. By the end of the day, you're good. By the end of the day, you're able to walk in and be like, hey, what up? Sorry about earlier. And now I missed you all day today. Now you having a talk. So there is something I think that it should be maybe it's not even just banning TikTok or things like that, but maybe just should be some sort of like minutes restriction on, you can only be on your phone. But that goes into the parenting too, man. It's like, can you watch TV? That was my thing. And back in the day, it was just about do your homework before you turn on that TV, right? Those days are done, right? Whose parents are even saying that? If you're a parent out there, are you even telling that to your kid? Your kid's probably not even on the TV. They probably don't even turn the TV on. They don't even care about the TV. So, like, what do we do now? Like, what do we do? What do we do? What is this generation going to be like? Yeah, now it's video games. It's TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, all the little mini micro shows and things that are going on. I don't even know. So, yeah. It's, somebody said I had magazines. I didn't really have magazines. It's like you had to get those from someone. Porno magazines were like tennis balls. You never bought them. You just had them, Like, I don't ever remember buying a tennis ball, but I always had a tennis ball to play baseball with, or, you just had tennis balls. I don't know where they came from. They kind of were passed around, I guess, but I don't ever remember going to the store and purchasing a tennis ball. That's how I feel about pornography. There was never I never went to the store and bought a Playboy magazine or whatever it was. You just had it. It was like a hand-me-down, or you stole it from somebody's dad or something. I don't know. Who knows? But anyways, getting back to it, let me know what you think in the comments. Is this ban of TikTok, are we going in a good direction by looking out for the kids, or is this just some overreach by the government again, or who knows? So I would love to hear your thoughts about it in the comments. To me, I don't have kids yet, so it's hard for me to even but to me it sounds okay. To me it sounds like the government's saying, hey, you can't just, so now you just can't download any app. The parent has to be but how are they going to do that? Is that going to be you're going to have to work with the phone company to be like, okay, this is a kid's phone. He is not allowed to download anything. Does a message go to the parental phone and the parents are like, yo, what's up with this? You know what I mean? Can you do this? So we'll see. Yeah, somebody, Joe Hill, thanks for the super chat. He said, born in the late 89s, we always found our tennis balls in the woods. Yeah, right? You just found tennis balls. I don't know who. It's almost like somebody was buying tennis balls, going outside, and just throwing them in parks, Like the tennis ball, people would be like, yeah, just get some tennis balls. And they had one of those ball guns that you have at the game. And they were just shooting them, pow, pow. They're putting them in the woods like Easter. They were just hiding tennis balls all over the city. Because I don't ever remember buying a tennis ball, but I had a tennis ball always. All right. There we go with that. And we did it. I'm trucking along, guys. I'm not feeling well today, but I'm doing the best I can. All right, so then here's another. This is just weird shit, man. Some more weird shit news and notes and things. Is slap fighting the next big thing, or just an unsporting stupidity? Is this really gonna be? Look at that guy's face, dude. Look at this guy's face. Are you kidding me? But I guess how's this any different than? How's this any different than boxing or MMA or anything like that? How is it? Is this going to be the next big sport? It seems like, I think that this sport can only be good if it's regular people in it. Every week it's like, hey, welcome to Slap Fight. And we have Sheila and Carmen. Carmen says that Sheila didn't take her order correctly at the IHOP and didn't, and Sheila say, well, she didn't give me a right tip. And now we're going to slap it out. I mean, if it was like that, then yeah. Like if it was like, oh yeah, somebody was in line at the DMV, and this happened at the DMV and the person behind the counter, if it's like you get to just slap it, anybody, then I'm like, okay, this is a professional, like, get your shit out. I like it. But like the fact that there's like trained athletes working on slapping each other. I mean, look at this dude's face, man. I mean, oh my God, that's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know if have you ever been slapped? I can't remember if I've ever been slapped. I don't ever remember. Who knows? I probably have. You know what I mean? I've never been just like, I think, oh, you know what? I remember one time I was slapped. This is so funny too. I was at the comedy club bar area. Okay. And I walked up on a conversation between this girl and a guy. And the girl was saying to the guy, she goes, you know what the difference is between, and it was some city like she lived in Oklahoma City or some small city. She was coming to LA. She moved to LA. She was like, the difference between living in whatever and then moving to LA. I walked in on the conversation at that moment. And when she said that, she was like, well, you know the difference between like Oklahoma City and LA? And I said, right in the middle of the conversation with them, I go, going from a 9 to a 6. It was just one of those perfect comedic asshole moments, just like I was young, my mouth was running, and I just did it with, it was just a perfect time, perfect moment, going from a 9 to a 6, and she just turned around and slapped me. And I remember being like, you know what? I deserve that one. Thank you. You know what? I'm taking that one for the comedic team. You know what I mean? It's like, so what have you been slapped for? What have you been slapped for out there? I would love to know that in the comments. Who's been slapped and why? Somebody said they got slapped for cheating. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it is what it is. But just like I just don't know a situation where you're like if you're a dude, I don't ever remember another dude slapping me. That's another thing too. A slap is kind of like it's I don't know. Slap ain't something not masculine about a slap. I don't know. If a dude slapped you, how dare you? I don't know if that, what is that? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't ever remember a dude slapping me. Have you ever been slapped? Has another dude slapped you? It's like, why are you assaulting me? Like, just hit me. Like, Will Smith should have just punched him. Like, just do it real. What are you slapping him for? Slap is almost like, like slap is you making a choice. Well, if I punch this guy, I'll knock him out. And I don't want to do that, but I still want to get physical. There's like a mental equation you're doing in your head about slaps. Okay? That you're consciously being like, I don't want to hit this person. Right? I don't know. Seems like I've never been slapped by another dude. I don't know. I can't remember that ever happening. So the times I've been slapped, I can think like, a woman hit me. Wait, did you guys hear that? Oh man, I got to turn that off. But thank you, Michael Branch, who said, I look forward to this every week. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, and thanks for the super chats, everybody. I always appreciate the super chats. Yeah. So anyways, I have to do I'm not going to do let's see. Did I get all the stories I wanted to get out today? I think I did. I did get all the stories. Shout out once again to Rachel, and guys, remember my schedule. I'm going to be in the Blue Room Comedy Club in Springfield, Missouri, April 13th to the 15th. Louisville Comedy Club, April 20th to the 22nd. Comedy Mothership, Joe Rogan's new club in Austin, April 28th to the 29th. And then I got some other dates coming up in the future months, so make sure you guys check that out. Not feeling well today, guys, so we're just going to cut it short today. So I had no ads or anything today anyway, so, it's just me and you guys chilling. I appreciate when you guys come every single week. I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate the engagement. I love when you guys make comments, so please do that. Get in the comments about these things we're talking about, because I think it's having like a public discourse. I think is important. Let's talk about stuff. Let's talk about issues of the day and all that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So ban TikTok, there's a 67% yes. Wow. Interesting results from the poll. So maybe I should have made it more specific. I think, but based off that story about banning it for, kids without parental consent. How do you practically do that, though? That's my thing. Like, it should be, if you have a family plan phone, it should be, this is a phone my kid has. And my kid can now not download anything unless, you know how you get like the 2-factor authentication? You know what I mean? Like, it should be like your kid is trying to download this app. And then you could be like, no. You know what I mean? They're going to have to figure it out like that. How do they implement it and all that stuff? So that's the interesting part right there, guys. I'm not necessarily going to do a rap recap right now because I want to go back to and I have more, like I said, I got more overlays and stuff coming. I'm trying to really, I'm trying to step it up a notch. You know what I mean? And I thank y'all for coming and watching another episode of your favorite podcast. Anyway, y'all, thanks for coming out. Thanks for being here. And I will see you next week.